cozy in the heart of Chalet in the dead of winter. It's actually quite warm here.
Very
I know
Hugo.
it's not. It's been quite rainy and cold in Melbourne.
Yeah, well, I mean, you came to Melbourne. What did you expect?
Oh, look, I'm still in Australia. It's supposed to be warm
Melbourne
here.
is something else. Let's dig into the ban phase, though. Not quite sure. Getting rid of that Ying. But Thatcher's still in. Are there any particular exciting ones for you on the vetoes? We talked a lot about operator bans in the last couple of days. I've heard people say Brava is actually not too bad on Chalet.
Yeah, look, I love Brava. We got a good taste of Brava yesterday in the Japan League when we were casting that. We saw a Mozzie drone, a hacked drone, got hacked by the Brava to turn back into an attacker drone again.
Tug of war.
Yeah, it was exciting. It was quite good. I have no idea how Brava's going to play out on Chalet, to be honest. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of Brava in general.
I feel like a lot of Oceanic teams are not particularly adventurous with their operator picks.
No, unfortunately not. I don't think so. Anyway, we're going through this ban phase pretty quick. Ying's been taken off the board, which is, all right, I suppose, if we're not quite sure starting out in the defense. Means you don't have to deal with those pesky Candela-type executes. Don't have to be blind as you go into your defenses, which is good. But it kind of leaves a lot on the board for the attack. You got Flores, he can clear out a lot of stuff on Chalet. There's Bravo, that's what we're speaking about. The Special Drone Force, quite exciting on this map.
I do feel like these two defenders that have been banned out are really impactful, though. Azami's so good at creating those power positions. We saw it on Border just earlier with the Bliss game. The Solus was actually banned by Bliss, which really enabled that pre-placed droning that we saw come out from them.
Here we go, though, starting out in kitchen and dining. Pretty curious one for me for the defense. You don't often start down here.
Resisting the urge to comment on how sick that Goyo
I knew that that's exactly what you were looking at. So for reference, everyone at home, I'm looking at Dev's monitor right now, and he's got his eyes. I can see him stare dead on into the eyes of Goyo.
How do I get that one? That's sick.
How do I acquire such drip?
You need to go on a drip search sesh after the broadcast tonight.
Oh, keep it serious. We're going over to kitchen and dining. As we were saying, often tertiary bomb site, but we're not quite sure they're actually going to lean into it nice and early. You've got the Valkyrie on the board, so that slipping through the ban phase is going to mean that they've got quite a lot of info going through the interior of the map, aiding them through the mid-rounds. And for the attack, well, we've got Phoenix on the Ash, and I feel like we didn't do Phoenix justice last week, to be honest. That guy went 18 kills up last time we saw him in the server, and now he's got the Ash license.
I rate that from him. He actually mained Ash in that game as well against Wildcard when he broke that kill record for OCN this year. I had high hopes for Phoenix coming in. A household name. He started with a bit of a struggle, but as did Kelton's Knights in general, right? I think they were one of the few teams to get 7-0. Let me just double check. Was it 7-0 or 7-1? It was the 7-0, yeah, from Homeless in their opening play day. So Phoenix really struggled, as did the rest of his team on that one. But like the guys on the desk were talking about, couple of roster changes. Vinny's back in. Worthy.
Exciting.
Also, despite not quite living up to the MVP hype of 2021, he is the top-rated player on this team, even above Vinny.
Exciting things, but still no Kelton. Very disappointed in Kelton's Knights for never actually bringing Kelton. They're starting out on this top floor clear slowly though, Dev. 2 entries already making their way into the building. A little bit of resistance on the other side of the defense, but not too much. We've just got Karma on the 1.5x on the Mozzie. Oh, but he can be taken down on the cutoff.
Not bad there from Phoenix. We talked a little bit about him, and he decided that the pressure was there to deliver. But of course, Kakin is ready for a trade, so Phoenix biting off a little bit more than he can chew on that balcony.
Not looking too shabby so far for the attack for Kelton's Knights as they make their way in through this top floor. Worthy, of course, the next point of contest. We were just speaking about him as well, one of the forefront players. In fact, identifying that there is a pre-placed C4 inside of the bomb site, denying that entry inside the middle of office, right behind that half wall.
Also spotting out a lot of those Vulcan canisters as well from the Goyo. So when that eventual breach goes out on that dining wall, which perfectly cued, is there going to also cause the fire to begin to rain on down?
From here on out, Kelton's Knights don't necessarily need to clear the top floor if they don't want to, although Neb is starting to make his foothold inside of Piano, cutting off Reelers on the other side. Master Control still at hand for not quite sure.
Yeah, wow, really sneaky spot there for Reelers. You see, Neptune seems to have an idea that someone might push up, but I don't think he expected him on that right side of the doorway, extra deep in Master, and so Nep goes down.
There we go. Kaken trying to look for yet a second pick for not quite sure. Playing the tango with a line on the other side. That's Vinny, who's been taken down low himself. 2 Goyo canisters and a smoke bake to the face of Pat will force him to relocate as he tries to get his way into the bomb site.
Well, the Fire might have won it here for NQS. Pat is going to have quite an entry here, but he has been in form since re-entering the scene. That poor smoke player just hiding behind, but Sean does eventually find his mark. Now a 1-on-3, Vinny can't get it done, not quite sure. A good start, and have a look at that. Surprisingly fired up are Prez and Kaken after just winning the first round.
Honestly, good on them. Have a fun one going into Chalet against Kelton's Knights. These guys, of course, the bogey team for most of this OS League, as we like to call them. And I think for not quite sure to be able to pick up a round here, looking good. Signs played a very disciplined game on the site. Last dying seconds of the round, they didn't give away their life to peeking or anything like that. Just waited for that plant denial to come through. The smoke babes and the Goyo canisters were perfect, and they couldn't get the bomb down.
Do you reckon they're actually listening to music right now? Like
100%.
Karma was really giving it a bit of a
I
bop.
reckon,
Prez as well.
I reckon they're all in on Discord, and they're all like, you know how you can like Spotify listen in to your mates?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Spotify listening works in too.
Yeah.
I love that one. The hard thing is that you really have to be quick on the pause function. If you want to be able to really use the audio to your advantage in the round, you don't want the music pumping the whole time. But in prep phase, in pick phase, it's fine.
Look, maybe they're Giga Chads. Maybe they like just... Maybe they're just infinitely jamming.
I mean,
Maybe
look
they
at
are
Kaken.
always
There's
cat
no
jamming.
question of Kaken's Giga Chad capability. You look at that man, you're like, sheesh.
Get Grease going over to Master at Office as the next bomb site of choice. We're not quite sure, of course, winning out on kitchen and dining, throwing Kelton's Knights off guard a little bit. Peculiar bomb site of choice. Once again, bringing along this Valkyrie to aid them through the mid-round and start to telegraph the push of Kelton's Knights. Once again, looking for a library sweep across the map.
Not met with much as of yet. Roaming below, Karma. Wonder what info he's got. He's got a Valkyrie camera inside of reading. He does still have one in pocket if he wants to toss it on out. You know, about half a library and all of Mezzanine is vulnerable to those C4s.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to play off the back of, right? He's got these 2 Valkyrie cameras that are facing in through that mezzanine area and up the library stairs, so it indicates to me that he is in fact trying to look for that C4 play as the roam clear comes through. Real is there to support on the library stairs, of course, and here he is again, Karma on board with us at the moment. Hatch open as well if he wants to toss that through.
Well, someone has jumped in though.
Oh!
And Neptune does double on back and take down Karma. I think Karma had actually just thrown out his final Valkyrie camera and revealed his position. Hadn't realized a player had already snuck on in there.
Yeah, Neptune probably was like, oh, I hear a black eye behind me. That means someone must be down there. He goes for a quick peek and is able to find him. Realiz is now creeping his way back towards the safety of his team, able to get behind the shield, back in piano. Easy as you do it. The next point of contest will be Kaken behind the shield.
Neptune's made his way up the stairs though and need to come over. How many magnets are there to protect this shield? Kaken's actually going to forfeit that pretty early there.
Oh, no way.
Does actually manage to get Phoenix. So that's 2 rounds in a row. Karma's been the opening death. And 2 rounds in a row, Kaken has swiftly traded back Phoenix.
As if he re-peeks the cutoff like that. There's no way. He runs past piano, goes past the window, like, oh, there's a guy there. I'm going back for him. Now another shield inside of this split position as the execute starts to be shaped for Kelton's Knights. Breach already open, but the next point they have to worry about is Realiz, who's in this really peculiar position inside of piano. Has this really long line of sight facing all the way onto that fluke double door. It's going to be quite scary for Kelton's Knights to make that execute, but they can actually take him down quite early.
Really peculiar position for Realiz, but he's really dead now. And Pat's made 2 on the entry before being traded on back again by Prez. Here's the last one left, and well, he's not going to last at all. So a good mop up there for Vinny. Not too shabby there from Kelton's Knights.
Yeah, not too bad, hey. They did a pretty good sweep across from library side, although there was a shield there to contest. They played the cutoffs pretty well. They identified some safe spots to walk in and around that mezzanine area rather than having to fight that library hallway position, which was safe from them. They found the blind spot in the defense and crawled their way into the site, able to clean it up nice and easy with an execute.
Well, for NQS, the Chalet defense can be quite a fickle exchange, especially when you're dealing without the Solus to hunt down drones, without the Azami. difficult to find these fortified positions. And so they go down to what should, in theory, be the most fortified of bomb sites, right? The basement. Yeah. We've seen how deadly it can be. As soon as you've got a little bit of hard breach on this site, as soon as you've got a little bit of vertical capability, it becomes so uncomfy to play on site.
And I think you said this was fortified, this particular defense, especially this basement bomb site. But look at the lineup they're running, Dev, there. They've got this, exactly, completely opposite. They've decided to go and roam across the entire map. They do have the Cade on board, which would keep things closed for at least a little while. But I was wondering what your thoughts are on this. Do you feel like this actually plays into the way that you envision this bomb site to play in?
I mean, I'm a big fan of roaming on this site. In fact, I think roaming is absolutely necessary. If you don't roam on this basement site and the enemy team has a buck and sledge, you are going to lose. They're going to vert you, and you're going to have not a great time. So I think it's the right play. Might have been a bit overcommitment, though.
Yeah.
Kelton's Knights, though, haven't opted to like prep for a rush setup. You know, if this was Japan or Korea or Southeast Asia, this would be like a Glaz execute already. So quite a different flavor to what we've seen, and we start to enjoy some of the regional differences in Rainbow Six meta.
It's nice though. Instead, like you said, Kelton's Knights are going to look for an entire map sweep. They're starting out here all the way on this top floor. Some of the players of Not Quite Sure to meet them on the other side, as that double window cutoff has been open. Kaken has fallen back inside of the dining area, just through the hatch right there. Starting to get a pretty good foothold on the map, but there is finite time for the attackers to get through.
Yeah, but no smoke on the board, no Goyo, so I think that Kelton's Knights can be afforded a little bit more time on this roam clear because there's less of these real time burn, last-minute anchor operators on the defense. And that, to me, means that all these roamers for NQS have to have even more of an impact than otherwise. And I'm looking particularly at Kaken and Reelers here inside of Dining. Phoenix is so close. I don't know if he realized, but he did indeed see the head of Reelers ducking around the corner. It's an awkward engagement, but Reelers gets him on the narrow angle behind the dining table. And another opening death for the poor guy.
Away though, looking for the trade from within side of Trophy. And look at this from Not Quite Sure. They're relentless on this roam. Like you said, they really had to find some value out of this because of how much they committed to it. Worthy, though, is able to collect that trade onto Reelers, and it leaves Kaken all alone inside of Dining.
How much more damage is he going to be able to do? He hasn't wasted a ton of time here, realistically. And I feel like he needs something more before he goes down. One more kill would be enough to say it was worth it. As he brings out the shotgun, Worthy can pinpoint his position by the sound of that logic bomb, and Kaken ups and gets him. And that is absolutely good value here for him on this roam. Neptune looking for this trade, but hasn't committed as of yet. No flashes, no utility to clear this man, and he persists.
Filthy work with that SMG-11, still holding on to the dining position. Meanwhile, Nep is actually able to make that drop work out in his favor and collect the kill. Time is ticking away though, only 26 seconds, and Cade still on the board means that both these walls are going to remain closed, Dev. It's going to be tough for Kelton's Knights.
Oh, in comes the entry, and that is a critical pick there for Vinny. Trade immediately on back again, Neptune. Oh, that was ugly, my friend. NQS will take those. And, well, that's a good basement defense, though partially you got to question Kelton's Knights for letting that one slip.
Well, I think like you alluded to earlier, they kind of had to roam and they had to look for value out of that roam because of how much they dedicated to it. And certainly props to Not Quite Sure for being able to hold on to that dining position. This was the one we can see right here in the replays. That was really the pivotal part that closed out the round. They spent so much time, Kelton's Knights, of course, loitering through that mid-round, trying to clear these two positions, that by the time it came to the bomb site, the TCSG could take them all down.
We're going back to dining now. And this is where it all started for NQS, Mandy. 2 rounds to the 1 of Kelton's Knights. And I don't know, I feel like I don't want to get hopeful too soon, Mandy, because it does seem like every single play day we get to the same position for NQS. But they are yet to find a single point, right? They really need to get on their bike. All of the games they have played have started looking close and they ended up literally every single time a 7-3. It's been 7-3 against Bliss, 7-3 against Wildcards, 7-3 against Homeless, 7-3 Aerial Arise. Now they're playing Kelton's Knights, right? Like, they've got their hardest games out of the way, and they need to start claiming some points.
Yeah, and I'm just going to look back into last year's OCN. Do you think about all those cake and sweets, the 7-5 curse every single week for ground 0, 7-5, 7-5, 7-5. It's like the same all over again with a bit of deja vu, but yeah, like you said, a little bit worse.
I will say, I feel like looking at the cams, and the face cams, the player cams, NQS look way more fired up today than I've seen from them all year long. And so I'm pretty optimistic, to be honest. Like, I know it's very early days in this game, but they are starting on Chalet defense without two critical defensive operators in the Azami and the Solars. Looking at their energy, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here and say that they're looking good.
I think so, and honestly, I feel like if there's any team that you can sort of bring that energy to and try and get that team vibes going, it's probably against Kelton's Knights. You know that these guys are kind of in it for the ride, you know? They're not quite in it to be the most competitive team. They're not really in that major contention spot, so they're just here having a good time. 5 old mates playing Siege, and there we go. Vinny with a nice quick peek onto Kakin can take him down.
Vinny really does still have it, and the NS with the space between. Wow.
Menacing.
Really taste the flavor of that one. Realiz has retaken Kakin's old position, but I'd be a bit scared to play that without the shield.
Actually not bad from Not Quite Sure. They're trying to reclaim the space that they had otherwise given away and not letting that map control go in the way of Kelton's Knights, making sure that they are still holding themselves worthy of this top floor. Meanwhile, Pat playing this minigame on the main breach as Prez can use those Retilia claws to try and trick it off. And Nate will have to follow from Nep to be able to clear that. Oh, and it actually doesn't.
It's not ideal here for Kelton's Knights. They are dilly-dallying, and up above, Realiz has managed to get it down. No, I don't know who got that down. Was it Realiz or was it a C4? I didn't quite catch it. Maybe it was Prez's C4? I'm bewildered, Mandy, and it seems like Kelton's Knights might be too. They've got a retake upstairs with Phoenix down on the ground.
Ooh, look at this though from Pat, sneaking in his way around the back instead, trying to look in for hop in through the trophy window. Almost catches a player out coming from back down the solar stairs, but not able to quite sink the shots. And only 30 seconds there, and really that wall has been opened. They do have the Ossa in hand, so it could be a pretty scary execute any moment now from Kelton's Knights.
Well, in comes the smoke, but the return of the gas. Pat looking for a lurk up West Main. He's going to have the impact. And, oh, perfect! He does get that headshot onto Karma, pre-firing through the wall. He's going for a second now. If he gets this, it could be massive for Kelton's Knights. Just 2 players left. Realiz has control up above, and President is holding on to Kitchen. They're going to have to go hunting, and they can do just that. What a round!
Nice work from Kelton's Knights, identifying that they could have gone for the plant, but then realized as soon as that top floor player had died, good grief, that Vinny was like, oh, I've got to get off the plant. I'm definitely about to get vertical. Really nice flood as well from Pat to come up the main stairs, clean up the back line of that anchor and close out the round for Kelton's Knights. Isn't
it interesting, that last minute decision there from Kelton's Knights? When they're feeling that pressure, they know that they can't fully commit to clearing the top floor anymore. Instead of having one player lurk on the top floor and try and catch them while they're looking for the vert, while they're looking for the flank, instead, 3 players go breach. Pat is the only other player in the roster, and he goes downstairs. He tries to lurk up of West Main, which ended up being massively successful. But to me, like, if you like looking at that in the moment, I thought, well, that's a questionable decision, Pat. I think you should have held someone upstairs. I was wrong. That was the perfect play for Kelton's Knights.
For sure. These guys like to do some fun things now that they're a roster of 5. They're doing some exciting little plays for themselves. I think it's playmaking like that that's so exciting to watch. Don't you think so? It's just like, yeah, you could do the right thing if you wanted to, but would it really be Yoast League if you did that?
Is it the right thing? I think that's where it's questionable, right?
Course,
like, what is right?
Textbook thing. Textbook.
Yeah,
there you
or
go.
the
Textbook
obvious.
doesn't always mean right.
Exactly. Yeah, and
it's about being unpredictable, you know?
Definitely in this meta of Siege, it does feel like we're in the era of if you've been studying for the exams 5 years ago, you're looking to throw out your old textbooks because things have changed. This matter is a lot more risk-taking than previous.
Here we go once again, Kelton's Knights. They know the drill. Start out on library side and sweep across the map. Seems to be the play that they're infinitely going for. Meanwhile, Vinny though has picked Amaru. That excites me a little bit. I wonder what he's going to be able to do with that. Nep rounding the corner, the first point of contact, but in fact it's worthy to take down Shant on the other side of the map.
Yeah, actually just cutting off, I think, inside a lobby. Kaken has been pushed back. I don't believe Pat's drone saw him before, but it will now. And then he jumped it, which I think gave the sound cue to Kaken. So he does know he's been droned here.
Playing a very cautious game here on the library stairs. A second drone to follow through. Prez contesting onto that lobby cutoff that Worthy was previously playing. And while Kaken is in a bit of a pickle at the moment, isn't he? He's down in the basement. They certainly know that he's around here. It's about whether Kelton's Knights are going to choose to clear him or not, I think.
Oh, Worthy's cut him off.
Oh, they totally know.
I mean, they know he must be coming out somewhere. Worthy's on drone at the moment, but there is a drone in lobby that would see him. And there you go. Once again, spotted. Is there a player looking for his cutoff from blue? Not yet. But elsewhere, Neptune got a little bit too aggressive up top library stairs. He found one before being traded on back. Real is trying to hold on to this map control for as long as possible. And President has also taken down that critical player from outside of lobby. So what is going on now? Kelton's Knights letting it slip.
Oh, look at that. Kaken's still at large too after all of that drone work. He still hasn't quite been cleared out. Instead, Phoenix, though, is going to sweep his way in through that top floor, making his establishment known inside of Piano. But Kelton's Knights have got to be pretty careful here with the threat of Kaken in the backside.
And also, keep in mind, this is kitchen dining, and we haven't seen anyone from Kelton's Knights look to get close to that. Now they're getting on this vert game, but as we know, all these NQS players are in pretty safe positions, roaming around. I mean, President's not feeling any vertical pressure as of yet. This is going to have to be a dastardly desperate push for Kelton's Knights.
Oh, look, they totally have info on Kaken coming in through this top floor. Perfect crossfire from Phoenix and Vinny to be able to collect that kill. Now, man advantage for Kelton's Knights as they look for their execute in the dying seconds of the round.
Yeah, I mean, they have to hatch drop here. Realistically, that's their only option. They could try and send someone on the trophy window, but they're running out of time. Oh, it's going to be Vinny with the Amaru. 13 seconds left on the clock. Doesn't matter. He gets straight on inside. Spots out the last player. Can call that to his team. But he's the only one left for his team. And President has just got to hold on. It's not going to happen. Vinny rounds the corner. Prez, a little pre-fire. Gets the round and gets him hyped up. Have a look at that.
Nice work from Not Quite Sure to be able to play the attrition game through the rounds. They were able to reclaim back space that had previously been cut off, for example. They were able to reclaim space that had been droned, but then there was no more active intel. It was just really nice reactive work from them in the server to be able to hold on to as much of the map as they could for as long as they could. As the time dwindled away, poor Kelton's Knights couldn't quite get their way into the bomb site and close out the round on time.
3 rounds on the D here is really good, I reckon, for NQS. It's going to be a tough set of defensive second halves for Kelton's Knights. There's one more round here for NQS to steal away the half with an advantage. Kelton's Knights just, once again, struggling with their time management, struggling with closing out these rounds, even from what seemed to be an advantage. They couldn't muster up a push. Funnily enough, I said that they had to drop the kitchen hatch. They didn't end up doing that at all. They didn't have enough info, I think, to check whether dining was clear. Yeah. And so they had to take that risk and just send it down the solar stairs and through the trophy window. Ended up an unfortunate funnel.
These rounds have been quite fun to watch, actually, Dev.
Yeah.
They've been quite back and forth. It just feels like as the mid-round plays out, it can really swing either way, as both of them kind of get into the nitty-gritty work of, are you going to clear the roam? Are you going to play the cutoff? Where are the flank drones? It's just all these small things have to go kind of right for Kelton's Knights to be able to win out that mid-round to late round. And it's really gone either way. Karma is looking for a spawn peek, a C4 to finish that off. Will take down Phoenix. And that's the first one going in the way of Not Quite Sure. And the second as Real is able to clean up Worthy.
That is not great for Kelton's Knights, but a stellar start for NQS. Nice for Karma to finally get an opening pick after being the opening pick twice now as well. And a creative little spawn pick. I like that, waiting for the door to be sprayed down, the window to be sprayed down before peeking it. Unfortunately, Real's kill was off screen, but it's a big play to take down in Worthy and big utility in the IQ's electronic scanner. No longer is it going to be easy for Knights to find President's Valkyrie cameras.
Oh, but look at this. It seems like they're actually going to try and fight this roam out on the ground floor. Seems like Nep had absolutely no idea that Kaken was around the other side of that corner. Now 2-on-5 for Kelton's Knights. Doesn't look too good for them, does it?
Oh, I think that's been pretty generous, Mandy. Yeah. It looks shocking for them. 2v5 on the basement. You got your Hard Breach and your Thatcher. I mean, that's something, right? The dynamic duo. Vinny and Pat, former teammates on Wildcard, once again reunited here on this, I don't know what we want to call it. I was looking for a collective noun to describe Kelton's Knights. This gang of youthful veterans.
You really wanted to make a Gang of Youths reference
I
there.
really did.
I can feel it. I can absolutely feel it.
Well, unfortunately for Kelton's Knights, this round has fallen just about as flat as any references I have attempted to make, and somehow it is the goo mine that finishes him off. That's a hilarious way to end it, and an enjoyable half there for NQS. 4 rounds to 2, quite an advantage going into their attack.
Well, look, come on. If you're Pat, you got to pick your poison, all right? Get impacted, explosive, or step on clear Lego on the ground and die, you know?
Oh, not the Legos.
Not the Legos on the ground. Disaster. Oh dear, for Kelton's Knights. Unfortunately, not quite able to make that roam clear work out for them. Not quite sure. Having a laugh at the moment in the kill cams as well.
Look at Prez!
He's gone!
He's gone to the bathroom!
Bio break! Bio break alert!
Prez. I will say, have a look at all this cool stuff in his background.
Yeah,
what is that? He's got,
is
that chibis?
Oh my god, he's got like a copy of the hammer.
Sledgehammer. Oh, he's back! He's back, baby! He's like, guys, I'm back. It's fine. What am I repicking to? Yeah, it's okay, fine. I got Flores. It's all good, guys. What's that? Yeah, okay, kitchen. Okay, yep.
You're just referencing that Prez gif, aren't you?
Oh,
the one
bro.
where, yes.
If you have not seen the president gif,
someone tweet it.
Someone
right now.
needs to tweet out the president
Live
gif.
tweet
It
president
is
gif.
Honestly, the greatest gift that he has ever given to us.
Yeah, of course.
And one of my favorite highlights that has been produced from this team.
Going to round 7 now. As Kelton's Knights jump on their defending half. Like you alluded to earlier though, Dev, they've got to have a pretty dramatic defense if they want to match up to the scoreline of Not Quite Sure, who have now gone into their attack. Typically, we like to regard Chalet as one of the more attacker-favoured maps inside of the pool. And so we're expecting a pretty successful half for Not Quite Sure, as they're also in the lead for the points on the scoreboard.
According to my calculations.
According to your calculations.
Overall, in the Blast Rainbow6 circuit, Chalet is one of the more favoured maps for the attacking side. In fact, the most attacker-sided map, 53%. It's still pretty tight, though, I will say. And
it is tight.
Oh, there you go, mate. Another spawn peak. This guy just doesn't stop. And it is back and forth. Shont going down early. That's a lot of relief on the vertical game with that buck getting taken out.
He's able to make his way back as well, all the way down through that basement and towards the safety of his teammates. Not quite sure, starting to get a foothold inside of this top floor. Karma, the spearhead of the push, but Worthy's actually going to try and re-aggress inside of this blue position. Could look for this late game fight, but Kaken.
Bro.
That's not what was on the docket.
Kaken, that was your teammate. Prez, you better go absolutely bananas here. On the Nomad, he's got to find something to bring back NQS from the 2-player deficit that, well, unfortunately, his teammates have kind of let themselves fall. I don't think he's going to find one here, though, Maddie, to be honest.
I mean, he could. You never know. Like, maybe they get antsy. They get a bit too excited.
Pat doesn't. Pat is a restrained individual.
He's a restrained man. Yes.
Pat is a sophisticated man. He has quite sophisticated tastes, and he is not interested in any overpeaking shenanigans.
Oh, but Realiz is with the diffuser in his hand as well, making his way in through the top
dude.
floor. Oh, and Prez is as well as he tries to go in for the flood onto the bomb site. 2-on-5 now with 40 seconds left to go, and Realiz can at least take down Vinny for one.
Well, NQS decided to go YOLO mode. It works for one, but not for the other. Kaken and Realiz. I mean, Kaken, look, you've already got 1 kill, but I don't count on the scoreboard unless you finally get 2 of the opponents. There's your first. 1 more, and you've made up for taking down Karma.
And there we go now, possibly winnable, but with only 25 seconds left and still player on the solar stairs, or just underneath the solar stairs inside of Harry Potter. There's no way he's going to be droned out there, is he?
Oh, but he's been verted, so even though they haven't actually checked it, he's feeling that pressure. I think Realiz is looking for it now. Does see him, there just ain't enough bullets in the gun to get the job done. 1v3 now for poor Realiz, and he is in a spot of bother. Kelton's Knights are, well, they start their defense strong, partly to their credit, but partly to the confustication of Not Quite Sure.
Not too bad work from Worthy, though. He was able to run rampant with that MX Storm. Exciting to see him back in the server, able to just run off on his own, to be honest. and given the license to do so on this Kelton's Knights team where there's really nothing quite at stake for any of the mistakes that he might be making. So quite an exciting roster to be on for him. Now getting a bit closer to evening up that scoreline as well are Kelton's Knights as they jump on their defending half. We alluded to the fact that defense might be quite difficult actually, but they made that one look pretty easy.
I did say that holistically this is the most attacker-sided map in Rainbow6 Esports this year. But the one time it has been played in O's, it actually was pretty defender-sided at 58%. But that was like one time, 12 rounds worth. And that was
sample size isn't big enough.
Exactly. That was, funnily enough, the NQS versus Circular Spheres game. Kelton's Knights versus Circular Spheres game, if my memory serves me correct. It does. I've double-checked it. So there you go. Yeah, Circular Spheres pushed Kelton's Knights pretty hard, but credit to Kelton's Knights. They did take 5 rounds off of CS, who are one of the top teams in the league at the moment.
Well, there you go. Oh, that was quite an exciting game, wasn't it? I think that was the first close. That was the first close game we got in the entire league.
It's one of the only 3 close games we've had in the entire of Oceania.
Good grief! Don't say that on the broadcast. Absolutely not.
Well, this could be another one.
We have a very competitive league. Death Matter.
Mandy, this could be another one right here. Look at it. 1 round separates the 2 teams, and Kelton's Knights coming in were hands down the favourites. And how about this for a stat? Not quite sure. Have finally broken the 7-3 curse. They got their 4 rounds, Mandy. They got 4.
That's so exciting. Now if they can break 5, that would make Kaken's life his career, I think. As he's tweeted out almost every single week. He can't quite break the 5 rounds. Karma on the other side of this cooking up a nade, though.
Well, is it good karma or bad karma? It's a bit of both. Eventually he does find his man. And Pat is out of the game for this round. Funny lineup, isn't it, for NQS? That gridlock from President. I don't know what this man is doing. Prez, kind of known for his creativity, to put it kindly.
I don't really know what to say off the back of that. To be honest, you've really thrown me off guard with that one. Prez is also the IGL of this roster, so it's kind of like when you have an idea, you need to like tell your roster what's going on. They're probably like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Seems like a roam clear is on the cards. This is one of those maps that, well, making an establishment inside of the building is quite important, in fact, through that mid-round. So you do want to be bringing along that nomad or that gridlock to make sure that your flanks cannot be met as you go for the execute. Time ticking away, of course, for these attackers, and thankfully they're able to claw one back. Kaken on the upside down rappel, getting that long line of sight onto Worthy.
That's a pretty nice 2-player advantage now. What's the next step for NQS? Still not full top floor control. But as I say that, Phoenix is caught in a really rough spot. He was mostly worried about the players pushing in from the display hallway. He completely forgot about the windows. And Neptune is taken out as well. So, well, this will have to be a very memorable clutch for Vinny to even put a dent in the 5 players opposing him at the moment. Looking for the first. SMG-11. We've seen a lot of big clutches with the gun in the past, but Prez to come from behind and finish the round. Have a look at that, Mandy. They have their 5 rounds.
There you go. They've done it. Kaken can rejoice. He's met his mark at last 5 rounds, but can they make it 6? Because if they make it 6, they can get a point on the board. That's exciting.
They certainly would.
They certainly will.
We talked about how these guys have been consistently the 2nd bottom in the league so far, tied on 0 points with Mammoth, so not exactly anything to write home about.
Mammoth have got 1, haven't they?
Now Mammoth do have 1 indeed, but Mammoth's round differential is so much worse, right? So even after getting that 1 point today, Mammoth is still at a -24 round differential, whereas coming to this game, NQS -16, so like that's an 8 difference. They literally couldn't lose enough in this game to have a worse round difference than Mammoth. And so there's a guarantee now, NQS get 1 more round and they jump above Mammoth. Now, even if they beat Kelton's Knights, they can't jump above Kelton's Knights just yet, who are in 6th place.
Oh no, they've gate-kept the bottom 2.
They have gate-kept the bottom 2 for now. I will say as well, Mammoth and NQS are the only 2 teams that absolutely cannot make it to the major coming into today. Just mathematically it couldn't work out. Of course, we're not expecting to see Kelton's Knights there either, but anything is possible with still 2.5 play days to go.
It's all fun and games here, you know.
Until someone gets hurt, Mandy.
Okay, look. We don't endorse that kind of thing in this server, even though we are playing Rainbow 6.
The only kind of violence we are okay with is digital violence. That doesn't sound much better, does it?
No, I was going to say that, so it doesn't make it any better.
Well, Karma's been committing some violence.
Better.
Poor Phoenix, man. This guy has been on the receiving end of the opening death 3 times this game.
Now, on the flip side, though, Karma's been quite good on the entries. He's managed to open and kill pretty well on these both of these attacking rounds that he's able to get off in a row now, playing the Inyana role, of course. Not quite sure, once again, looking for a solo side sweep, completely different to what Kelton's Knights did, where they always went for a library suit, seemingly no matter what the bomb site was. Vinny, of course, still holding on to this position inside a master. No one on that double window cutoff, but could be in a bit of a pinch soon enough.
He's flashed out, feeling a bit of pressure. And once again, Karma, as you said, he's the first one in the building and the one to put that pressure on, does a bit more damage. Reelers moving in from Master, cannot land a bullet against Worthy. And Kakin on the cutoff. Now that's not half bad, is it? Taking down both Worthy and Vinny.
That's filthy with the 1.5 times the tiny little angle through the walls. Both of them is able to collect 2. Now not quite sure, once again in the man advantage, and might be able to get round 6 step.
Yeah, they might just be able to do it. 2 players left up for Kelton's Knights. It's iDark Neptune and Pat. Neptune is still upstairs, and you can see NQS are being very thorough about this. I think Kakin's just spotted him with the drone. Karma also about to send one out. Spots Pat, so they know exactly where the last 2 players are. Wow, Kakin, narrow angle. The pistol to surely finish him off. He's hyped up, and he is ready to go hunting now for Pat. Sneaking his way up the main stairs. Last seen at top blue. He's going to have to make this one count. That's 1. 3 more to find now for Pat. That's 2. And this is very much winnable. NQS need their 6th round. And they have the site control. Shant with diffuser in pocket. A flash, a second, even a third to cover. And Pat needs to get a move on. 1 more player, 3 kills. And it's just him and Shant left. The diffuser faked. Surely not for Pat. He has done it! There's absolutely no way! He is in disbelief! NQS, you're not going to find match point if you're throwing the 4v1s. Pat's going to laugh about that one till the end of the day.
Pat just shook his head and was like, what on earth just happened to him? He's been really sharp in this series, not just this series as well, but the entire stage. This man has kind of been on it, to be honest. 1.5x on the Frost. What better gun to do it with?
I think they were like almost all body shots as well. This was a really nice shot, I will say. Okay, I take it back. They were not almost all body shots, but 2 of them were body shots. You know, the C8 got, not C8, the C1 got a little bit of a nerf, but Pat doesn't give a damn. He's happy to go fragging with the Frost. 8 kills, half his kills from this game were in that 1 versus 4.
That's actually hype.
You can't ask for much better than that for Kelton's Knights. They have robbed NQS of a map point that they sorely needed, and they arguably deserved.
I think we've just cursed them, to be honest. By me saying that they were going to get that 6th round in the middle of that last round, absolutely cursed them.
Yep.
If they get another numbers advantage, good grief, try and say that one quickly. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just gonna silently hope. I won't manifest it into existence.
Well, here's a prospective spawn peak for Phoenix. He's put the tiniest of cracks in the barricade here. Wow, this is a narrow angle. Surely not. Karma. Oh, see you later, alligator. Takes his head clean off. You said this guy's been on the forefront of the opening picks for NQS. Well, now he's going to have to sit on drones for the rest of this one.
Yeah, unfortunately, poor Karma ODing. Haven't seen that one too often from him, but now not quite sure in the man disadvantage. I think this is one of the first times that we've seen not quite sure in the man disadvantage early in the round. I could be completely wrong, that is also possible. But I feel like, as it stands, not quite sure have been quite good at getting themselves into the building. They've been quite good at finding that first pick, especially with Karma, being able to get those first opening kills. But now him going down, they're going to need to replace some of that front line, get someone else in.
Well, there you go. It's Reelers on the forefront, on the Finker, not something we see often. He's ready for this entry, taking the top floor control as Kakin gets to work on this main wall here of office. Of course, this is a dining bomb site, so that is not the objective, but clearing out this top floor is really just step 1 of going for this dining attack.
Yeah, and keep in mind, not a whole lot of hard breach left as well for these attackers. I believe it's two more Selma charges actually for Kaken, so if he wants to head down to the main breach, he can still get a running hole off of there. It depends what Not Quite Sure want to go for here, though. If they want to sweep across this top floor and get full control and then therefore make use of the buck, they are actually going to have to make this roam clear work in its entirety. But if they want to just go for a plant, just go for an execute, they don't actually have to. Kaken, though, as he marches his way forth inside of office, would indicate to me that they do in fact want this top floor control.
Yeah, but Kaken does get that initial one. Phoenix eventually punished on this top floor, but still a lot of players, as you said, on the defensive side, lingering upstairs, not looking to forfeit control. Kelton's Knights, while they have found that first one, I think that is the cue for them. Oh, sorry, rather, NQS. Cue for them to now decide not to overcommit to this clear. Still 3 players upstairs. It's just too much to clear.
Diffuser in the hands of Shant as he's able to take down Vinny inside of the closet as well. Rotation hole made for him to start to make his way towards the solar stairs. Kaken can get maybe 1 on even 2 on the cutoff. The second right underneath the stairs cannot find the carver, and Kaken with 3 on the round.
Yeah, man has 15 kills. Pat, you've 1v4'd before. Can you go double in a row? I just don't think they're going to let it slip twice, and they won't. So they do find the map point. Finally, off the bottom of the standings, off the donut, and onto the breadstick for NQS.
That's exciting stuff for Not Quite Sure. The first points in the league for these guys. They have points. That's so exciting for them. Fantastic work. Yes.
And what's more, who said Oceania wasn't competitive?
Oh,
we have no teams on 0 points anymore.
Yay.
That is so last week.
Good grief.
Every team in the league now has a point. Mammoth and NQS fans rejoice. Also, gotta say, man, Kaken, he turned it up. Dude's on 15 kills in just 10 rounds.
Mans is going for it. He's absolutely going for it. Look at that. Top of the scoreboard in the entire lobby. Not just on his team. 15 and 6 guys on it today.
He is. And I think they were talking about it on the desk. Kaken is no longer the bottom rated player in the league, but for quite some time, he was sitting right there on the bottom. I went to go and look at my stats. I accidentally closed the tab. So come back to me in a minute and I'll tell you what his stats are looking like holistically at the moment. But turn our attention to Kelton's Knights. It's them who chose the tactical timeout now, and they need to hold on. Just 2 rounds behind. They're pushing overtime. I believe it is possible. They did it against Wildcard, and they may well do it here.
Looking back on that Wildcard game, of course, that was Phoenix's massive game, but now it's Pat's massive game to try and bring this one back into overtime. For the Kelton's Knights roster, look, I don't think they're going to be too phased by this one. Not quite sure. They fought long and they fought hard to try and claim this victory as they go back down to this basement bomb site, bringing along a pretty similar philosophy to what Not Quite Sure brought as well. They are going for this extended roam. Oryx to be super mobile with it. Not only that, but Cade as well on the board will keep that site nice and closed as it goes towards the late rounds. So Not Quite Sure. Got a lot to work through as they want to get a read onto the map. But look at that. They've got Sense. That's exciting.
I sense something potentially very cool and exciting in this round from NQS. And it's Realers himself to do it. Looks like quite a far and wide roam here from Kelton's Knights. I like the mirror. We actually haven't seen that so far this game, but it might be completely nullified by the utility of the Sens. Typically, you'd expect the Sens to be used for some kind of a rush. Vinny's throwing... He's actually picked up his claw.
He's juggling them.
But he's not in position to juggle it right now, so if Shant had just gone for the breach... Oh, Real is going to do it. He's got the secondary.
No, surely a thingy went on the thing. Yes, sorry, a thingy went on the thing. He threw the Retilia claw as he was running away.
I didn't see that.
Wow.
You've got good eyes, Mandy.
I think I've got good ears, not good eyes.
Well, apparently I've got neither.
Look, they're starting to make their way into that top floor, though. Full map control. That's the philosophy, for Not Quite Sure. They want to be able to clear away these roamers and do away with them nicely. The first point of contest. Oh, nice shot from Karma onto Worthy, the superstar himself of the series for Not Quite Sure. Bar Kaken, who's on 15 kills.
Yeah, Kaken would have come hunting for you if he heard you say that.
But Neptune still at large on the ground floor.
I believe he has a retreat, though, with the hatch open. It's pretty common strategy on this site. Indeed, he does. Where'd that second mirror go? I actually never saw where it got placed. There's one on site, and where's the second one?
No idea.
Is it in his pocket? Where's the mirror player?
Bam,
it's in his
pocket.
pocket.
That's the culprit. We've got bad eyes.
The reason I ask is usually you put it in dining, right?
Yeah, you do usually put it in
But
dining.
I
That's
guess
true.
it doesn't matter. Kelton's Knight's not looking to hold on for it for too long. And they just completely fall off. Actually, as I say that, Pat has snuck up blue stairs and found Prez.
Real star of the show, of course, with that 1-on-4 now clawing his way back. Reclaiming some of the map control is Pat. I think he's all the way back in games, I believe it was, unless the outlines... Oh no, he went back downstairs.
Pretty
Look, the
sure.
outlines are baiting me. Okay, this is a really hard game.
Get you baited. Get you baited.
Yep,
So-
absolutely baited. No! I didn't get baited. Look at him! He's inside of... Sky, show me
Right.
Pat inside of storage. I was right.
So he's looking for the double digits, Mandy.
Yes, he is. Very
He's looking
exciting.
for it. Oh, but there's actually a rotate here to bot main. That's something else. He tries to master sound of the drop. Shant jumps in, actually doesn't realize that he's fallen on down. But here comes Cake in, marching on through, edging closer to the 20 bomb.
Oh, and there he goes as well. The nade to mask the sprint down the stairs. But does he know that Pat is on the other side and Vinny's holding his cross as well?
Does he know? This is an awkward position now for Pat, but if he's not checked, he could deal some damage inside of the smoke screen from the Sens. Out goes a C4. He can barely see it. Think it must have been shot out of the air as he walks straight into a crossfire. But these Sens gadgets are completely befuddling everybody. Karma goes for the swing, but at the end of the day, the timer elapses. And Kelton's Knights steal yet another round.
I have absolutely no idea how the person that was planting the bomb was killed and all of that kerfuffle. I'll be completely honest. The smoke screens had me confused. My eyes cannot work fast enough.
No.
to
I
keep
mean,
up
you
with
have
these
good
rounds.
eyes as well,
I
as we
know,
have pre-established. So if you can't figure it out, that's it. No one can.
I do have glasses, so I can't. I'm handicapped at the speed that I can interpret things. But look at that. Nice entry, of course, from
Let's see.
Karma.
Okay, let's watch it
Okay,
again.
okay, okay. Watch it
Where
in
is the
4K.
plant denial?
There it is.
So there's Sean. Oh, Pat
No
just sprayed.
way.
It was Pat.
It was Pat.
Of course it was.
The culprit all along.
Of course it was Pat. This guy. And you know what? With that, he's broken double digits as well. He might not be catching up with Cake in, but he's been bringing Kelton's Knights back into the game. Is that Neptune as
No,
well?
Neptune's
broken-
also in double
All right,
digits
well,
too.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, look, silent killer, and we have not been given credit to him at all.
Oh, you do be kind of goated. We've had a lot of high kill games here, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Log earlier today broke the record that Phoenix established last week. Phoenix got 18 against Wildcard. Log today got 20 against, I'm trying to remember, Mammoth.
Yep.
So, I don't know, only a couple more here for Kakin to be in the conversation.
That's quite exciting for him as well. In his game that he could possibly win in regulation here. I think I've just cursed him because I've said it. But it would be cool if he did. He would finally be breaking that ground zero curse that has haunted him for all these months.
Yeah, I remember when we called them Ground Zero because they had 0 points.
Oh, no, don't. We got Brava! This is exciting. We haven't seen any Brava yet as well. Although there are no special drones to hack, so we can't get any droneception going on, which is not as exciting.
That's alright, we could see him hack a camera. Worthy's brought a bulletproof,
that would be quite
which
cool.
he hasn't put out yet.
Imagine if he hacked a Valkyrie camera. That would be massive value.
That would be something.
That would be cool.
I will say it is low-key triggering the fact that it doesn't show you as a defender whether a camera has been destroyed. It just disappears from your your queue of observation tools. You don't see the red X's anymore. It makes it so hard to tell whether something's been hacked. You have to just flick through. You used to be able to just see, like, if you kind of memorize where each camera was, you'd be like, oh, solar cam's down, because that's like the fifth one along or whatever it is.
That's right.
But now you can't. You have to actually manually check each one just to see what's available.
Well, there we go. Solar side sweep once again is the philosophy for Not Quite Sure. Looking for this map control off the top floor to boot. Worthy, of course, the first point of contest. MP5 in hands.
Oh,
Is he going to get away from this cutoff this time? Oh, thank goodness he does. Kakin, of course, playing this cheeky line of sight, isn't able to collect the double that he did previously.
Well, that's because it's reinforced this time.
Imagine that.
There you go.
Who would have thunk it?
Good adaptation, though, from Kelton's Knights. Aware that they lost 2 players to that line of sight this time. Very aware.
We are such zoomers.
You're becoming a bit of a loose cannon. I'm not the zoomer here. You're the
I'm
zoomer.
the zoomer.
I
I'm
got called
definitely
an
the
I got
zoomer.
called an old man earlier tonight by our director, our producer.
That's
by the
because
way.
you kind of are. You're an old soul in a young body.
I'm only 1 year older than her.
She's laughing at us at the moment from inside the production room. We love you. You're great. Okay.
Sorry.
Worthy found the first kill of the round. It's not looking so good for Not Quite Sure to try and close this one out in regulation.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? Once again, it's Karma, the first one to fall, always in those opening engagements, but it has been a brawl back and forth. Kakin, he's gone up to 17. Phoenix has taken down Prez. No more Bravo in action. Just Sean on the Hibana, Kakin on the sled. Still quite a bit of ability to open up the floor and start pressuring these guys on site, but a 2v4 is a big ask with this much time on the clock.
Well, yeah, vertical's all fine and dandy unless you've got 19 seconds left. Sean just rounding the corner, but it's
Okay.
Kakin to open it up.
18 now, looking for his 19th. Knows that the player is in stock. Spots him out. Does get the injure. But is he able to secure it? It's a 2v2 now as Kakin drops into sight. He's the last one left, and he's so close! He's gone for the 20 bomb! We go to overtime! Despite Kakin's heroics, Kelton's Knights have brought it back.
My goodness, and I feel like this series is so deserving of the overtime as well. We've really hyped this one up. We've had so much fun casting these past 12 rounds. Just give us another 2 or 3, really.
It deserves it.
Absolutely.
We deserve it.
We deserve it.
I don't know about you. I've been a very good boy. I deserve an overtime here.
Are you just saying that because like they've got the oh no, they don't have the Christmas background? What on earth
I
am
like
talking about?
the background.
I do like the
It
background.
did give me Christmas vibes.
It did give me Christmas vibes, yeah. And then I realised that wasn't tinsel; it was just flags and palm trees.
Which is cool.
That's
you know,
cool
it's
as well.
a very summery Christmas. We enjoy those here in Australia. Chuck a couple of shrimps on the barbie, have a backyard Christmas. That's the tradition, you know.
This is so exciting for Kakin though. Breaking that 20 kills. What is the kill record at the moment now? Is it not
It's
20?
He's
It's
actually tied with Logic. So
My
it's funny. I
goodness.
feel like someone needs to make that meme with the 2 red buttons. One button is finally actually win a game in regulation or get 20 kills because he really only had one choice.
No, don't say that. Do not say that. That is devastating for the poor
Thank you,
man.
Bryn. That's a great stat. I appreciate it.
Going down to the basement bomb site, not quite sure, leaning into the roam once again. Oryx to be super mobile, Valkyrie to aid that that intel for where the attackers exactly are going to be, telling those roamers where they need to go, giving them that information. And for Kelton's Knights, what are they going to do? Are they going to try and hit the bomb site straight up? They have brought along double hard breach, so that would indicate to me that maybe they are going for something a bit more direct rather than going for a sweep. But you never know with these guys. You never know.
I love this. The classic. All right, let's thermite open snowmobile and then just yeet out of there. Just say goodbye. We can come back later if we want. There's perceived pressure, you know?
Mm-hmm. Just dip. Get outy there. But still, Roma's very much holding on to this map control. As Kelton's Knights shape up for what seems to be a backside take. We've got Worthy already alongside Nep starting to get drones inside of that big garage area. Meanwhile, we've also got a foothold. That's Phoenix in the top floor. He's got breaching charges as well in hand, so if he wants to make the vertical work for him, he could. But the first step is to get rid of those roamers.
Finding these openings is always a challenge, and Kelton's Knights have been better at it than NQS. When Kelton's Knights were on their attacking side, they got 4 out of the 6 opening engagements, and then it was 3-3 when they were on their defense. So they did tend to do a little bit better at hunting down these roamers or punishing these rotations than they did when they themselves were on the roam.
Here we go, Neptune with a long line of sight inside of that blue hallway. Only Karma, I believe it is, left on the roam. Worthy inside of lobby, looking to take that long engagement, AK in hand.
Okay.
Oh, but Reelers still on the top floor, is able to take down Phoenix, who was hunting him down.
The oh-so-elusive Oryx. Difficult to pin down. And he just has so much mobility. He could be anywhere now. Neptune just waiting. He's got 2 players so close to him. If only he knew. Karma keeps on running around. Kakin's also watching for him. Kakin seems very aware here, and he's looking for his 21st. Looking to break a record.
Oh, Neptune's
But I
gone
think
in.
Neptune's just gone straight on in. Found one, but it's go time for Kelton's Knights as Vinny finds the double. Gonna need to be a massive one from Reelers, who opened the round. And Kakin, who's been putting the team on his shoulders. The diffuser getting planted, but there's no information. Vinny goes down. He can still call. As Pat, off that diffuser, is in a great position to swing. But if his position was revealed, it could be very awkward. Kakin now to find 2 players. That's his first. He's done it. 21 kills in the game as Worthy's the last one left. Can't quite get it done. Where is that diffuser? Kakin is wondering as the time is ticking away. The clock is his enemy, and it's up to Worthy to cover. He does so to perfection. It's 3 rounds straight now for Kelton's Knights, and they found themselves on the match point.
And certainly a warranted tech timeout here. If you're not quite sure, they had it in regulation. Match point, 6 points on the trot, and they couldn't close it out. And now 3 rounds for Kelton's Knights is starting to spell disaster for this team. Even Kakin and his 21 kills can't cross the line for not quite sure.
The last 5 rounds, 4 of them have gone Kelton's Knights' way. Oh, not quite sure. You better have something amazing cooked up. Prez, I'm not seeing the reaction I was expecting. I was hoping for something akin to the GIF that we were talking about before. Chin wagging. Not so here. Kakin looks like he's turned his camera off. He's really getting serious. Sternly just staring into that camera. I wonder if it's him doing the talking at the moment.
Well, it could be either him or a support staff. Now, I
have a lot.
I have no idea who was on the support staff of Not Quite Sure.
According to the roster submission sheet that I looked at, Moloska was listed as coach, right? Everyone knows Milo, of course, like former wildcard player, former teammate of Pat and Vinny. Also, Aria listed as manager, Elements listed as sub, and Kultama listed as analyst. So I don't know how many of them are in there right now, how many could talk to them. It's probably Milo, I guess.
I've got no idea, to be honest. I've got absolutely no clue.
I think the safest bet is to say that Kakin was doing a bunch of talking and we just couldn't see it because his camera's off.
That's a fairly safe assumption to make.
Well, if I was Kakin right now with 21 kills, I'd probably have a few things to say.
That is
like the next guy on your team's got less than half you've got.
Oh. He's really got to put in the hard yards. He's been around the block.
Oh, he's been around the block a few times. He knows what it's like.
See him in this part of town often.
Yeah, he knows what it's like to have the victory teased right in front of his nose and then snatched away at the last second. Kelton's Knights have been on a mission.
Trophy and Kitchen. Next bomb site of choice for Kelton's Knights, as Not Quite Sure shape their way around the map. Starting out on the library side would indicate to me that they are looking for a sweep across the map. Looking to get that top floor control breach open. Now last time, they almost closed out this one. Well, I think they did. No, they didn't they? This was the one that came down to the 1v1. They couldn't quite close it out, was it?
Kitchen Dining was the round where Kakin got to his 15th kill and he won on the attack. But the first time Kelton's Knights played it, they did win it on the defense.
Okay, there we go. So it has been traded out. They seem like they're still doing this same methodical approach though, so not quite sure. Don't want to bring in anything too fancy. They don't want to take any risks anymore because it is on match point. So they've just taken that attack time out to recompose. Make sure they're doing the right things. And they certainly are not, in fact, as Phoenix is able to collect the first onto Karma. Thankfully, Realiz is there for the trade.
Yeah, I mean, must be something pretty significant going wrong when there's a player able to sneak his way all the way up lobby and find 2 kills before he is eventually traded. Phoenix has done some massive damage this round. A reasonably quiet game from him after the president he set last week, breaking the, at the time, kill record of 18. But now he's been called upon. He's had a huge round, and he's turned this into a 3v3, Mandy. I can only feel like this favors the defense.
All right, it's thinking time for Not Quite Sure. 3v3, limited tools. The round not over yet, though. They can still close this one out if they so wish. You have the hard breach charges on Shant, so walls can still be opened if they so wish. Not only that, but you have 3 breach charges on the Ash, so if you so wish to take the top floor, you could try and play the trade game up there as well. Otherwise, you could go for a flood. There's a lot of options here for Not Quite Sure, because the defenders as well are down in the man count too. So they simply have to play and hold on to what they can. Seems like Not Quite Sure are going to try and probe a final pick off this top floor. There are still players stuck inside of Master, of course. Cut off now from that bathroom window.
Well, it's just Neptune upstairs left, and I think they're kind of running low on drones here in order to hunt him down. So it's a bit of a game of face checking. He could do some real damage here. Prez rounds the corner, does take him on down. A game that definitely deserved 15 rounds. Looks like we will be heading that direction. 3v1 now for NQS to push us all the way. Vinny with a tumultuous task set before him.
Tough one for Vinny. 20 seconds though. Not quite sure. Need to get a wriggle on.
Oh, they know exactly where he is. He's found the first one, the double! He can't be doing this! Not again! NQS cannot let it end like this! With the deagle in hand, Vinny will wait. The time is on his side and he locks in the 1 versus 3! This man cannot stop clutching!
He comes back into the server in perfect form, clutching time and time again for Kelton's Knights and stealing away that one win that not quite sure we're oh so looking for in the series.